What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more hardcore, and we're going back for more from Mokum's Classixxx series, and that's Classixxx with 3 X's. And this is actually the second volume, which came out last year. It's Mokum 285, whereas I just reacted to a tune recently from Mokum 295, which was a reissue of an old classic tuned by Tellurian called Gabber. I think I was saying it Goiver. I think I was saying it incorrectly in that video, but either way, this is another classic, although it goes back a little bit less far, which is to say, originally this was a tune by Chosen Few, a Dutch artist from the classic 90s days. I actually saw him at an LA area hardcore party in like 2015, maybe 2016. But yeah, he did a tune in 2004 called Chosen Paradize, with a Z or a Z, and it samples Coolio's classic Gangsta's Paradise, which people will know if you've checked out my mix Let It Burn here on YouTube, and I think I did a reaction to the actual tune. But there's a Ragatech track called Paradize by Dark Mark. I had it, I want to say it was like mid or late 2000s, late aughties. But yeah, I've had it for about a decade now. I'm very fond of it. I used it to open that mix I mentioned, and yeah. So I've heard a hard techno Ragatech remix of Coolio's Gangsta's Paradise, but I don't know the Chosen Few original in this case. So my expectation is that we're going to get lots of samples from the Coolio's Gangsta's Paradise, but I don't know how close or far away from the Chosen Few 2004 Chosen Paradise this will be. So either way, it's by one of my favorite producers ever, my favorite humans in the hardcore world. Big shout out to you, Roberto, who goes by Formek, as well as a few other names like Byron. And yeah, we're going to listen to his remix of Chosen Few's Chosen Paradise, originally from 2004, but this is 2023 on the Mokum Classixxx Volume 2 release. Maybe. Who was it in the film? Michelle Pfeiffer?
I got so much trouble on my mind, refuse to lose. Here's your ticket. Here's the trouble, get wicked.
I don't wake up in the morning. The baseline is like fluctuating. Those little notes. the melody in acid form. Oh, Roberto. I like it a lot, like the whole track, but the ending I like. I only wish it didn't fade right there. Like, I wish it went to that final moment without dropping in volume a little bit. But again, a tune you can definitely end a mix with. I will say, it's interesting, like, the use of samples in the Dark Mark Ragatech track, it colored my experience here, because there were some moments where I wondered if we were going to get some of the different lines, and I was only thinking about that because I know the Ragatech tune, which again, it's a different genre, it's a different artist, it has a different incorporation of the original, but to get back to this one, not only do I think it was fantastic, and it has, again, this flaring, flanging, finagling bass line that keeps, you know, sort of altering and shifting between the exact timbre or like character of the bass line. But I love the way we eventually hear the melody in the classic form. We hear the vocals, though, keyed up or pitched up, which is funny because they're basically true to the original in the Ragatech track, but because I tend to mix it a little faster than normal, it still like has a slightly sped up sound. But here it's pitched up like considerably, almost like, you know, like a hard house vocal, which, you know, hardcore, part of where it came from was like a very hard and fast genre or subgenre of hard house, but yeah, it has sort of that quality. But then we get the main melodic line in acid form, and, you know, super heightened like energy state acid line, like just really intense, and then it comes in with like a hard synth version of the main melody from Gangsta's Paradise, and then brings back in the vocal and all of it, including those rising choral vocals. So I love the way Roberto used what I assume is based on the treatment of Gangsta's Paradise in the Chosen Few original from '04, if we're following the bouncing ball here. I will say that other recorded vocal, which I think was like a newly recorded vocal of a classic sample, maybe it was just a really clean version of the classic sample, but that whole thing about the pit and the pendulum, I have like hardcore, like, you know, mixtapes that I got way back in the 90s, and I remember there's one on, I have one of those from like, I don't know, 98, 99, and there's a track that definitely uses that particular sample, but I think the voice is different, so I think here it's like hearkening back to a classic sample or a line that's been used in a lot of previous techno or hardcore tunes, but I don't know that for sure, and I don't know the source of the origin or the origin of that phrase or those phrases that the recorded vocal was saying. So I like a lot of what's going on here, but it was a really interesting listen because I was sort of skewed in my expectations based on another tune that took this classic 90s hip-hop track, which, what's the name of the movie? Again, it's Michelle Pfeiffer and Ice Cube, right? The heck, it's like, it's not Higher Education, but it's like something about teaching or educate, like it's, and you know, she's in like the, you know, a very, let's say, troubled like school where, you know, there's lots of gang violence and whatever. What the heck is the name of that movie? I can't believe I'm blanking on it. But either way, again, shout out to Roberto for taking what I assume was a lot of what Chosen Few did with the track, but then putting his own sonics on it, or putting it through his own Roberto Formek filter, which again, the kicks, drums, the bass lines, you know what you're going to get with his tracks and with his remixes. So yeah, really loved it. At some point, we'll check out the 2023 remix of the original, which is also on this vinyl. But you know, again, I'm a huge fan of Roberto's work, so I wanted to start with this version, and then we'll listen to the remaster of, or is it a remaster or remix? I guess that's a good question, because those are two different things. And I don't know this record. I just realized that I had missed it last year and recently picked it up. Okay, so it's the 2020 2K23 Edit Remastered. So it's re-edited and remastered, but perhaps not fully remixed. I guess that's what we'll go with. Once again, shout out to Mokum for continuing to put out amazing hardcore, including new tracks made in the classic styles now in 2024, but also hopefully into the future. Shout out to Roberto for a really cool remix. Shout out to all the folks who've been watching the hardcore and, you know, let's say the more niche deep dives and playlists on my channel. I really do appreciate that some folks who came here for other reasons have found their way to some of the things that I am very keen on in my musical world, pre-existing my YouTube activities. So I'll stop talking now. Let me know what you think. I'll see you next time. Peace.